Hi. Okay. New video. I might just be getting the hang of this. Um, I've spent like 5 minutes trying to find a comfortable way to sit. Uh, so I might just move around a lot in this video. Um, but yeah. Okay. What I wanted to talk about, and something I've been thinking about a lot, is because on my blog I write a lot about coping mechanisms. You can try drawing or writing or painting, doing puzzles or whatever. And I mean, they are great coping mechanisms. But in the end, you also need to deal with what the actual problem is, that it's not enough to just um, like coping is great. You need to be able to cope, but at the same time you need to actually fight the anxiety as well and the guilt, that you can't just uh, start painting or drawing or like say putting on music or uh, like doing puzzles and things like that. It's a way to get your mind away from what is troubling you, which is really helpful. But at the same time, you need to face the actual anxiety and face what it is that is causing anxiety. Um, so, like with eating disorders and that, food is not the actual problem, it's a symptom of the problem. Because the problem is, it's in your head, it's something has triggered you to start restricting or start binging, or has triggered you to make you think you're fat or that you can't eat certain foods and that. So I feel like I'm talking really silently or really quietly, so they can hear this. But like it's a mental disorder, and you need to cope with the actual problem, because you can go up and down in weight, you can be forced to eat or forced to follow a meal plan. But unless you cope with the actual problem, it's still going to be there. If you have low self-esteem, um, if you have low self-esteem, you hate your body, or it was something, maybe economic problems or relationship problems or family problems, or not being able to cope with stress that triggered you to start restricting or start binging, that's still going to be there. You're still not going to know how to cope with stress. You might still have relationship problems, economic issues, or low self-esteem that doesn't go away because you start eating, or you start eating more regularly, or gaining weight or losing weight, or what it is that you need to do. But also, because it's a mental disorder, it means that uh, weight and the way you look, and even like eating, how and what you eat and what, it is of course a symptom of eating disorders that like to be diagnosed with anorexia or binge eating. There is a criteria basically which those who suffer from the illness follow. Um, so it's not just that someone eats a little less someday and suddenly they're anorexic. But with weight and body size, you don't have to be underweight, even though some hospitals and doctors, that to diagnose you with anorexia you have to be underweight. Um, but you can still suffer from restrictive thoughts, restrictive eating, even though you're not underweight. There are many people who are any weight, any BMI, any size, that suffer from eating disorders, but they often go unnoticed because they're not underweight. Or if you're overweight or obese and you struggle with emotional binge eating or that, then they usually get help because you can see it on their body that they're not so healthy, just like with underweight. Um, and there are many people who are a normal body size and that do suffer with eating disorders. Bulimia, restrictive eating, orthorexia, anorexia athletica, EDNOS. So you may think that because you're a normal weight or because you're not super underweight, or because you actually eat that you're not sick, but that's not the case. Because you have to eat, no matter what eating disorder you have, you do eat. Like, what is it, 5-7 days you go, if you don't eat anything, then you die. I think it's something like that. So basically you have to eat something, and you might think, oh my gosh, I just ate chocolate or ate candy, there's no way I'm sick, I don't have an eating disorder. But that's not the case. When I was sick, I ate free of foods because I was forced to, because I wanted to hide that I had an eating disorder or that I was struggling so much, so I would eat it. But then I would compensate later, so it wasn't healthy. If I had just eaten the ice cream and gone on with my life and not cared about it, then I wouldn't have had a problem, but I did. At the moment, you might hear it on my voice, but I'm really struggling to breathe at the moment, so I sound really breathless, as if I ran up the stairs, but I haven't. That's how it is to have cystic fibrosis. Sounds like you can't breathe. But on to what I was saying, that you don't have to be underweight, you don't have to completely starve yourself to have an eating disorder. And the same with binging. Binging is not just that you eat a pizza followed by some chocolate. It's an uncontrollable thing. It's you keep forcing yourself to eat even though you aren't hungry, and there's often certain types of food you eat, or it's just that you just eat everything, even if you don't like it, you just press it into your mouth, you just eat and you can't control it. I've binged before and it's awful. It's not just a, oh, I ate a little bit more, you know, oh, I took a second helping. So no, that's not binging. But also binging has to continue for a certain amount of time. It's not just a, oh, once a month or once every 2 weeks thing. But you have to know that you do need help. If you, because it's a mental disorder, it means that it can't always be seen from the outside. So you need to know that you need help. It doesn't matter what weight you are, it doesn't matter what size you are, and it doesn't matter what eating disorder you have. You need the help to get better. Whether it's a therapist, whether it's support from your friends and family, an eating disorder clinic, a psychiatric hospital, a therapist. I don't know if I said that. But getting help and support is important. And yeah, to know that you don't have to be underweight to have an eating disorder, you don't have to look a certain way, and you don't just starve yourself the whole day either to be classified with as or to have anorexia. But also, it's not something you should ever strive for. It's not something you should ever want. It's something that you should fight your hardest to not have. To not have to suffer with the hell of an eating disorder. So, getting help, getting it early, and doing your best to recover, even if it's hard, that every day you make the choice. You make the choice to follow your meal plan, you eat, you listen to your doctor and the staff and your family. Because even if you don't want to listen to the doctor, even if you think they're wrong, if you think they're trying to make you fat or ruin you or that they're whatever, they have seen many people with eating disorders, so they do know. You might think you know what's best for you, and in some cases you do, but other times you have to listen to what is being said to you and take the advice and follow the rules and what is being said. But I hope you got something out of this and that you can know that you need help and you need to actually cope with what the actual problem is, because food isn't the problem, it's a symptom of the problem. But coping mechanisms are great, they're needed, they're advised to have in recovery, but at the same time you have to focus on what it was that is the actual problem. And I can say for me, I know one of my problems was that caused my eating disorder was control problems. I had control issues, I had to control everything because I felt I had no control in my life. So now when I'm healthier, I know I don't need to control everything, but also that I can control my own life. I have the choices. I can make choices based for me on what's best for me. I just said that, and healthy for me. And that's that gives me control, knowing that I have choices. So yeah, I had to learn to let go of control and know that it was okay. And yeah, that was what I had to say. Now my mind has gone blank, and we're about to go in like 5 minutes, and I haven't packed or anything, so yeah. Prioritize vlogging first, and it's almost 12 minutes, so oops. I hope you watch this, get something good information out of it, and